fantastic milestone for a great industry. We've had cumulative returns since inception of over 10%. So remarkable that A, we've had that kind of return, and B, no crash and burns in this sector. The discipline of paying out dividends to unit holders means that from management's point of view, they can't bet the farm on anything like we saw in the 1980s. So a remarkably successful vehicle.
The initial REIT created at its inception was total enterprise value of $37 million. Today, these entities basically, in terms of what's changed over the years, everything's changed. It's, the vehicles were not mainstream in the early days, and they've gone through various stages of evolution and growth, and certainly improvement in every possible respect in terms of size, governance, financial strength. And certainly today, basically, they're a mainstream vehicle. So a lot has changed over the last 25 years.
Well, I think the future, being in the apartment sector, is amazing for all apartment REITs in Canada. And really, it's about growth in terms of our population, which is huge, and especially the last few years with the increase in new Canadian quotas, up to almost 300,000 plus, but also changing demographics in terms of our aging population, where people do want to downsize, move into new accommodations on the rental side, and also the continuing urbanization of Canada from rural to urban, which all bodes very well for the apartment sector in the years to come.
So this industry emerged out of a crisis. Since that time, we've been involved in a number of reforms aimed at making the vehicle better. So some of those are Income Tax Act type reforms. Some of those are getting limited liability in every province in Canada. Some of those have to do with getting a listing on the TSX composite index. Some of that has to do with rolling out the new GICS classification for real estate alone, not being bundled in with finance and insurance. And some of that has to do with working with regulators like the Ontario Securities Commission to make sure that our disclosures, our governance is up to snuff. And so we've always been there for the REIT industry, and we'll continue to do that for them.
For all the REITs, what's important going forward is they have to identify what their competitive advantage is in the industry. Real estate as an asset class is very popular. There's a veritable wall of money chasing high quality real estate assets. So you have to figure out as a real estate entity, what is your competitive advantage? So for us, the merger with Choice gave us a land bank. And by that I mean basically these are grocery anchored sites where there's an opportunity to densify, add other real estate, in most cases high-rise residential to the site. That's good for the grocer basically, and it obviously gives us a land bank for long-term, very, very long-term development opportunities. More opportunities over the next 25 years that we can possibly pursue.
Canadian developers, Canadian investors are amongst the best in the world. We don't toot our own horn enough, but our management teams are world-class, can compete anywhere in the world. And so I'm hoping that we'll see for Canadian REITs what we've seen for the Australians, that we'll start to become global investors and bringing back returns from around the world back to Canadian investors.
Personally, I always look at it and say, what's ahead of us, and the industry is going to be different, but I think the industry as a whole is mainstream now, and I think there's an opportunity for the REITs, particularly some of the larger REITs, to own some of the best quality real estate in this country, and so from an investor point of view, very, very good.
Well, I feel very proud. I mean, we started out with a market cap of $2 million, and today we're about $1.4 billion. So we've done our share in terms of growing as well.
I see continued growth of this industry. I see great returns, safe returns for unit holders. And I see for future pensioners like myself, I see a way to play in sophisticated markets, big-time retail, big-time office, big-time industrial, without actually owning the asset through REIT units. So I'm looking forward to that.